guys, it is Caitlin, and you are back with another episode of Girl Wasted. I have a special guest with me today. It is Peter Greenwood. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Nobody's ever described me as special before, so I feel brilliant now. Thank you so much.
Well, VIP in the room.
Well, a P at least.
PG, rated PG.
Yep. I make that joke all the time and nobody gets it, and so for you to actually make that joke, I am so happy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I actually was thinking about it. I was like, we could put it rated PG and rated PG for Peter Greenwood.
I want that more than anything.
He was like, what the fuck did she mean rated PG? No.
I heard the lube episode. What's she talking about? PG.
Killer lube, and now it's PG. What?
Yeah.
We gotta keep people guessing, keep them on their toes.
They never know what's going to happen. Yes,
100%.
So how are you today?
I'm doing okay. I'm just having a bit of a mental moment. My whole life.
I relate to that on a spiritual level.
Yeah, so, like, obviously tier 4, there's not much you can do. All the little bars and restaurants are trying their hardest to do, like, takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just sitting here, like, do I buy Christmas presents or do I get fat? Like, what's the toss-up here? What's better for my mental health?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you done any Christmas shopping?
I actually started my Christmas shopping back in February, back when coronavirus was just a rumor. I went out and I bought a few bits and bobs because I'm normally really badly late with Christmas stuff. So I was like, right, I'm going to get a head start on it. I'm going to start in February. And then it kind of vanished. Other things became a bigger priority. So I'm like, okay, this can go to the back. So I'm starting to get some Christmas shopping done now, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's a hard time to buy things. A guy I work with was like, yeah, so I actually have all my Christmas presents and I've dressed them up under my tree. And I was just like, can you not do that? Like, do you think I give a fuck? Look at my face. Look at my face and tell me if I give a fuck. Like, honestly. And then he would come in. Now, they were all beautifully wrapped and his tree was amazing. But he would then be like, you don't appreciate these things. Well, yeah, no fucking shit. I haven't got a single thing in. It is October. You shouldn't have to shut up. Like, you know.
That's been driving me absolutely crazy. People putting up Christmas stuff before December. It's not even December. We're recording this on the 31st of November.
Mm-hmm.
Not the 31st, the 30th. Is there a 31st of November? Let me check.
30 days has September, April, May, and November. So
there's not even a 31st of December. I just invented a day. That's some bullshit right there. But
don't add any more into 2020. We can't cope.
Yeah, we need less 2020. That's what we need. But yeah, people just going wild with Christmas stuff, and it's like, it's not even December, you son of a bitch. Take it down.
Honestly. But I have seen this thing. I don't know if you maybe have heard of it. It's called Shiny Light Scotland.
No, I haven't heard of it.
No. So because the nights are drawing near and it's darker and people obviously have the kind of what's it called, seasonal depression and stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's to make the nighttime walks that people obviously have because it's fucking dark at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
A lot brighter and shinier and pretty, which is just kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
But I also kind of feel it's like a cheap way of them being like, you're not getting Christmas lights this year. Fuck off, do your own. You know? So
see, that's a good idea. I hadn't heard of that. That's a good idea and it makes sense. But you're right. I wonder if it is just the council being like, we're not paying to send people up on those big tall things to put up Christmas lights. Do it yourselves, you lazy fuckers. We've done enough for you. We exist. It's like, no, you have. You have done less than nothing for us, but thank you. We
pick up 3 pieces of litter a day, and that's the top. You know, that's the top line. Honestly, so it's quite cute. So people are putting up like fairy lights and all that kind of, not Christmas decorations, but like supposed to be like lights and things in their windows, just to kind of, I suppose, give people something to do. And it means also like if you're going out with like your kids or whatever, you can point them out like, oh, look at those lights, da 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 da, all that cute stuff.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to kind of help with seasonal depression and mental health nonsense. But people have taken this so far, and now like everyone's just like, well, the lights are up, we may as well fucking put the tree up. And I'm just like, oh dear. We're very like 12 days before, and usually not 12 days after. I think last year our tree was down on New Year's Eve.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah.
12 days before and 12 days after just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's always been like the tradition. And also I've got sisters, and like we used to have a dog, and it was like a full like, oh my god, what's going on? And Christmas tree being put up is fucking horrific. Like it's quite intense. Like, do you know that way everyone's just like, what the fuck are you doing? And you're just like, okay, great, love that for us.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you have real Christmas trees, or do you use a fake tree?
we use a fake tree, but it looks real.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I always had real trees because I grew up in the middle of nowhere surrounded by forests, so we could get a real tree really easily. Sorry, Forestry Commission, if you're listening, but don't at me. So we'd get the real tree, but the real tree leaves pine needles all over the floor.
It's messy.
It smells gorgeous, but it can be like you're walking along in February and all of a sudden your foot gets spiked. It's like, what the fuck is that? Ow!
A little bit of Christmas revenge.
Yeah, it's like, you cut me down, now my ghost is going to kick your ass. Well, thank you, tree.
Well, I work in the West End of Glasgow, and you'd be surprised the amount of people who refuse to get a plastic tree and they just all get real trees. And then you hear the stories of how they had to wrestle it up and down the stairs. And I was like, well, see, if you just had a fake tree and kept it in your flat, you'd only have to wrestle up and down once and when you move out. So I don't know if you should really be griping about that, you know?
Yeah, but you also get the saddest thing on earth is like, beginning of January through January, you see all these dying Christmas trees put out by the front door and they just sit there for weeks because the council don't uplift them. And they gradually turn brown and the leaves drop off, and it's just the saddest thing on earth. There's nothing worse than a dying Christmas tree.
I kind of feel like they should be putting like a wee firewood.
That's a good idea. Let's do that. We can start that, can't we?
We'll do a January bonfire, right?
That's a good idea.
Guy Fawkes, okay?
Yes.
Bring your sad Christmas trees and we'll set on fire.
That's actually a good idea because everybody's miserable in January, so why not move Guy Fawkes Night with fireworks and a bonfire to January where you can burn your Christmas tree? I think we've discovered something here. We have found a thing.
GW and PG going out there for the fucking Christmas trees.
Yes.
It kind of sound like we have a bit of vendetta, you know?
It does a bit. Like, we probably sound quite crazy now.
Get them in the van.
Yes.
That would be so fun. I would totally do that. Just go around, pick up. Well, I don't have a van. But like pick up all the trees and just fuck them into a big bonfire. That'd be cute.
That is a good idea. We can do it in the middle of George Square. Like, come and see us burn this shit. It'll be good.
It's so fucking like medieval almost, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And it can be like, okay, goodbye Christmas. It's like symbolic, like saying goodbye to Christmas. Like, catch you, you're done.
Yeah, like a cremation.
Yes. Wow. We have found a thing. I was going to say, see if in like 1,000 years' time this is caught on because of this podcast. I'm going to be demanding some royalties, but in 1,000 years' time I'll be dead, so it won't matter.
It feels very like Viking, do you not think?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very kind of, what's the word I'm searching for? Primal. Yes, that's the word.
Yeah.
Like fire and stuff. It'll be good.
Just start burning some shit, little, what's it called? Not kleptomaniacs, arsonists?
Yeah, is it? Yes. What's a kleptomaniac?
Someone who steals things.
Right,
like,
of course.
compulsively.
Yes. Arsonists, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I see now, yeah.
Anarchy! Down with the trees!
Down with the trees and anything else we can get our hands on.
How did you find like the Girl Wasted stuff? Because I just remember, I think I was doing a live with Cleopatra and we kind of like, she gave you like a little shout out.
Yes, she did, which was lovely of her. Thank you so much for that, Cleopatra, if you're listening, and why wouldn't you be? I actually had discovered your podcast before the Cleopatra interview. I hadn't really engaged with it. I'd listened to maybe an episode or so, and then I got distracted by something and never really went back to it. But it was when Cleopatra was doing the interview I was like, oh, okay, I'll stick around with this. And that's how I came to discover you and find out all about you, as listeners of your last episode will know.
All about my tragic dating life. Just out of pure curiosity, because I've never actually had someone that's like found me, like, you know, what were your thoughts and views from that first episode?
I'm trying to remember what the first episode I listened to was, but I can't remember to save my life. But what I really like about you is that, this is going to sound kind of generic, but what I mean is that you are unfiltered. You just say what you think, and that is so refreshing. Like, on a podcast, you can kind of say and do anything you like, but so many people have guards up and don't tell things like they are. But you just come out there and say it. You just say anything and ask people the best questions, which is brilliant. I wish I could do that.
Why can't you?
Well, here's the thing, is that I've been doing radio for 9 years, and you kind of get into a certain rhythm of doing radio. Like, there are questions I want to know from guests, But then there are also questions that the audience wants to know. So that's kind of what you have to ask. So I can't just be like, so, did you get laid last night? That kind of thing.
Yeah. So, did you get laid last night?
No, I didn't. Sadly. It's been a very long winter.
So tier 4, yeah.
And it's only been a few months.
Well, honestly, we're all clawing our way out of 2020, man. I can feel it. Like, the knuckles are bare. Like...
But yes, yeah. That's what I enjoy about your podcast, is that you're I hate saying the term refreshingly honest, but listening to you is a different experience. That's why I like you.
A different experience. I'm taking that. I'm going to write that somewhere.
Put it on a t-shirt. Like, put your logo.
Different experience. Yeah.
And on the back have the words, a different experience.
That's cute, though, a different experience.
I would buy that shirt.
Do you know, actually, I do merch and stuff as well. I don't know if
I've seen some of your merch, yes. I was going to wait until I'd been on the show so I could buy some.
Well, this is the thing. So I have a bit of a nightmare because if people aren't really keen and don't really want it, which is obviously not for everyone, of course, I am 100% like not going to call myself Marmite, but I know that people will be like, what the fuck is this?
Yes.
And other people will be like, yes, I'm so behind this. But like, it's that whole thing of, if there's no demand, then I can't supply, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know.
So the way I'm doing it just now is through like a company in New York, which means the shipping's a wee bit of a fucking nightmare. But as soon as there's a bit more demand here, I'm wanting to kind of like do it local, because I know a few people that like I have set up, so I can just be like, here's this, here's that, can you do this for me? And obviously support like local community nonsense.
Yeah.
And whatever they're doing. But it's just that way where I'm like, I'm not got a fucking clue what's going on here, guys. Like, do we want it? Do we not? Who's buying? What's going on?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I have a lot of fun things coming up for like Christmassy time,
right,
which I'm excited about.
Can you share anything?
No. But I'm working on some stuff, so you just need to keep your eyes fucking peeled for the merch page, and I'll put it on the original kind of Girl Wasted podcast page as well. But yeah, it's so exciting. But do you have merch or anything? Do you do anything like that?
I don't have merch. A few people have asked over the years, like, do you have any show merch? And I'm like, no, I discourage people from investing in this crap. Like, I always feel kind of bad about that kind of thing, and I don't know why. Like, if you listen
what do you mean bad?
I guess it's being very self-conscious. Because I've done YouTube videos, I've done podcasts, and I do the live show, and I am not the person who can be like, okay guys, like, comment, subscribe. I cannot say that. I don't know why. It's just something inside me that says, this isn't good enough for that. Why are you telling people to do this? So I don't say anything like that. Yes, big self-doubt.
Do you know what? Like, you have to just get in the mindset of people will enjoy it, people will not like it, and that's fine. Do you know?
Yeah.
I totally get what you mean, because I struggled with the same stuff. Like when I started this, and I was like, oh, I don't know, is this weird? I don't know if I should be saying this. Oh, I don't know. And I'm just like, fuck that.
There's so much I want to ask you, and I feel like I'm taking over your show, but what we're doing here on your show is we're doing part 1 here and now. This is part 1 of the conversation, isn't it? And what we're going to do is we're going to record a second part, which will be airing on my show. So that's why I'm saving up all my questions, because there's so much I want to ask you, but I don't want to ask it now.
You're totally fine. How many people would you say you have interviewed over the year in general?
That's a good question. Probably close to, it's got to be well over 100 now.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 150 maybe.
Oh.
Because I've done a bunch of shows on a bunch of different stations, so all included, probably closer to about 150 people.
Oh my goodness.
It's a varied mix that I get on the show.
Yeah, because I've had like a listen to some of your guests and things. So have you got a standout guest who you just thought, oh my god, you're actually insane, and don't say me?
One of my favorite. I've had a bunch. If I had to pick a favorite guest of all time, I think it would probably be Tessa Violet. She's a singer from America. I absolutely adore her, and she's one of those people who I've had on the show 3-4 times, and you don't know what you're going to get when you go in to interview somebody. They could be good, they could be nice, they could be just be like, okay, let's fucking get on with this.
Yeah.
But within literally 5 minutes of talking to Tessa, the interview hadn't even started yet, and already it felt like I'd known her for years, and we just started talking, and it was great. Like, it wasn't the typical interview, we were just talking away. There's actually an interview I did with Tessa, I think it was the third one, where we recorded for about 40 minutes, and I actually could only air about 15, 20 minutes of it, because we just go off on tangents, and it would be so not relevant, and it would be...
Yeah, I totally get that.
And we'd kind of open up to each other and tell each other stuff, and just like, oh, we should probably cut that. So Tessa Violet was a good guest. Rebecca Black as well. She came on one of the old shows, and she is absolutely incredible. For those who don't know Rebecca Black, she's the girl who did Friday. That's her
she's
biggest...
got a few new songs, and I actually do quite like her, She
is incredible. So that's her... I don't want to say that's her claim to fame, but that's how everyone got to know her.
Yes.
And so she started releasing new music, which was really good. So I had her on the show. She's been on the show, she was on the old show twice, maybe 3 times. And she is just so quick and so smart and so funny. She is just right up there. She'll talk about anything. She's so open, but she is so quick and funny. And it makes sense, because the internet beat her up when she was like 12, 13 years old. She got so much shit for Friday.
100%. But you know, I actually found this out the other day. I think someone, like, in passing, I was playing one of her songs, and they're like, oh, is that Rebecca Black? And I was like, yeah. Oh my God, yeah, pure diehard fan over here. But, like, then what was it she said? She was like, did you know that Friday was, like, her mum and dad done that to get her, like, to be a little bit more confident?
Yeah. That was all.
And then she got totally fucking slated for it. Oh, it's awful.
It really is, and it's really toxic what happened to her. And I'm not saying I'm her friend or anything, but we kind of got to know each other a little bit. She hasn't been on in a while, so we kind of drifted apart. But
reach out, Rebecca.
Come see us, Rebecca. I miss you. But yeah, the things that happened to her when she was just a kid, like 12, 13 years old when she did Friday, and she's come back and she's producing incredible music now.
Yeah.
And she's a superstar. She's incredible. She's another of my favourite guests as well. There is a thing that every so often somebody will ask, not what is my favourite guest, but what is the biggest guest you've ever had on? And that's a question I don't really like answering, because it's like...
Yeah, because they're probably all big in their own way, you know?
Exactly. Like,
and it's obviously now going to be me, okay?
Yeah, definitely. Like Caitlin from the Girl Wasted podcast is now my favourite guest.
Oh yeah, okay, of course.
We can put that in a t-shirt as well. Caitlin is my favourite guest.
Yeah.
I just want to put things on t-shirts.
PG. Now, obviously, you have to get a merch line now, you know?
I do. We should team up and design some shit.
Yeah, we'll get like a little PG one going. That'd be cute.
Yes. I like the way you think. This is brilliant.
My mind is a fucking minefield. So last night I was sitting in bed, and I had been quite tired all day and I had a headache, so obviously went and got like fucking 4 gallons of water. And then I think all the water just went straight to my brain, and I was just sitting and I was like, oh my God. And you know what I was thinking? I was like, it's funny how you get spots on like your face and whatever else, but you never get spots on your hands. And your hands are touching everything. There. Yeah. And your hands are like touching everything. And probably one of the dirtiest parts of you, because that's what you use. And that's obviously why you have your hand sanitizer and your soaps and everything. But you never get spots on your hands.
I'm looking at my hands now thinking, has there ever been spots on my hands? But there hasn't. Good Lord, you've hit upon something.
Yeah, like I was just sitting and I was like, it's so fucking weird. And then obviously, because your skin on your hands is different, like on the inside than the outside. But like, it's just bizarre. You don't really get spots on your hands.
No, why don't you get spots on your hand? Like hands can get dry. They get dried out, cracked, flaky skin and whatnot sometimes. But
yeah, but they never get like little. No, the correct term is pustules, which is disgusting.
I hate that term.
Seeing as like a skin specialist, that's what they're called. So, but yeah, you never get them. And I was just sitting and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, you have to go to sleep. Like, you sound a little bit mental right now.
You would expect that. No, because when I'm laying in bed, I don't sleep on my hands, but my hands are kind of normally somewhere near my face. So it doesn't transfer. Why doesn't it transfer? You've blown my mind now.
Well, yeah, it was just like a weird thing. I was just sitting and I wasn't sitting, I was lying in my bed. And I just literally moved the duvet, and then I just was like, why do you get spots on your hands? And I was like, if I just needed the water, like, what have I just done to myself? Why am I so awake? Why am I asking stupid questions? What's going on? Like, oh God, it's just a bit fucking bizarre, honest to God.
This is why I'm so glad that you do the podcast, because that kind of thing, who thinks of that kind of thing?
I don't know. I don't know if I should be worried either.
Wow. That's a brilliant... I've never thought of that. And I don't know the answer. That's what's annoying me now.
I feel like the science behind it, here I go, scientist,
okay. Tell us some
will
science.
be probably because your skin's like, in your hands you don't have muscles, you only have tendons. Obviously you've got some muscles like at the palm.
Mm-hmm.
After the kind of midpoint, it's just tendons that move your fingers. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So you don't have like muscles there. And then I feel like there's not much fat.
Yeah.
So it must be something to do with that. The same way, like, the skin under your eyes, you don't get spots, but what you do get is, like, little white lumps because the skin's different around your eyes.
Really?
Yeah, so the best way you can explain this is ridiculous, but your face skin, like, on your cheeks and your forehead, and that is, like, cardboard, and the skin around your eyes is, like, tissue paper. That's the kind of difference. Because, obviously, your eyes are, like, little jelly balls.
Yeah. Little jelly balls. I know exactly what you mean, but for some reason that description and the way you said it was like, little jelly. Now I'm hungry. Now I want jelly.
Do you know what I always think about? Jelly tots.
I haven't had a jelly tot. Do jelly tots still exist?
Yes, but they're tiny now.
Are they?
Maybe I got bigger, but like I don't.
I haven't had a jelly tot in probably well over 15 years.
And also Tutti Fruttis, do you remember them?
Oh, what was a Tutti Frutti? I vaguely remember
like little kind of square fruity, like hard, like, so they had like a crunchy coating on them.
Oh,
and they were like
yes.
like Skittles but
yes.
square. Yeah,
I remember them now. Whatever happened to them?
Love them. I think they're still here. Do you know, there's like a little corner shop across the road from my work, and they sell all the old sweets.
Really?
Like, you know, the Milky Bar crispy rolls?
Yeah. Oh God, I love them.
They're amazing. And then what else was there I was thinking about the other day? You know the Milky Bar sweets?
Uh-huh.
But like they had the chew.
Yes.
Best thing ever. Not seen it in a fucking age. Yeah, literally, like, oh my God, it's so funny. Have you got like a pure go-to sweet?
I really don't have one sweet that I go to. I have like 7 because I'm greedy and hungry. I really love Kinder chocolate, but not the Kinder eggs, like the Kinder chocolate bars.
Bueno. Yeah.
Oh, I love a Bueno as well. I haven't had a Bueno in so long. I need a Bueno.
Oh, you mean like the little chocolate bars? I thought you were trying to say Kinder Bueno, sorry.
Oh, I like both of them. Kinder is just incredible.
Why don't you like Kinder eggs?
It goes back to being a kid. And I remember very rarely we'd get kind of sweets and stuff because my mum didn't like giving us that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember biting into the egg and always hitting my teeth on the capsule inside. And so
why did you not learn after the first time?
Because I'm stupid. I'm a boy. It's what I do. I don't learn anything. So that takes me back. So every time I get a Kinder Egg, I'm kind of paranoid about it and not shy around it. Like, hey, Kinder Egg, do you want to be eaten? That sounded really bad. But
see, I was a proper brute about it. I would split it in half and eat half and half.
Right. See, you were smart about it.
Smart and brutal. Still the same.
That needs to be on a t-shirt as well.
Smart and brutal. Yeah. But like, do you know they're banned in the Americas, in the United States?
But yeah, Kinder Eggs are banned in America. They're not allowed over there. It's silly.
Do you know why? Because the kids were eating them the way you were eating them. And they were like, oh, it's a choking hazard. But here, have a fucking handgun.
Yes. That's...
like, what the fuck?
That doesn't make any sense. Why are you like this, America? Who hurt you?
Donald Trump, several others.
That motherfucker.
That big orange man. So were you following the election? Were you kind of watching all of that nonsense?
Yes, because I talk about it a lot on the radio show, so...
Oh, do you?
I followed the election. I was actually doing I live stream on Twitch, and I was doing an election night special where I was talking about what was going on and following the news channels and stuff in America. So it was fun, but the problem is because everything took so long, like the election wasn't settled that night. It took a week or so to finally confirm.
Yeah, that was the longest fucking thing ever. Oh my God.
It's like, are we getting rid of this motherfucker or not? Just tell him to fuck off. I don't want him anymore. And it's not even my country. So because it took so long, there was nothing really for me to do on the live stream. So at one point I just picked up my cat and was just stroking my cat like, yeah, my cat's here. My cat cares.
Little Dr. Evil.
Yes, Mr. Biggles. I used to do that impression so much better. I can't do it anymore. $1 million. I remember that film. I used to like that film. It was so... I still like that film. What am I saying? I used to like it. Yeah, it's still a very good film. I haven't seen it in a while, though. Maybe I should rewatch it. We should do a commentary for Austin Powers.
Oh my God, we should.
Like, we should sit and watch... Like, we should sit and stream it because we can't meet up. So we should sit and stream it and just record a commentary for Austin Powers.
100%. 100%. That'd be so fucking cute.
Done deal.
Do you know I absolutely love like the fembots?
Yes. Oh, that. Yes. I'd love the fembot.
What a vibe. Like, I was actually going to do it for Halloween, I think, but obviously Halloween got cancelled. Halloween is like my favourite time of year. Like, I cannot express to you, as I call it, because my hair is like kind of predominantly blonde.
Right.
Although I'm naturally a brunette.
Are you?
Yeah. Did you not know?
I did not know that. I wish I was a brunette.
Well, are you a ginger?
I'm blonde.
Are you blonde?
Yeah.
I thought you were a ginger.
No, I'm blonde. How dare you?
Well, listen, we're Scottish. Let's not be too nasty about the redheads. I do love a redhead.
I love a redhead as well.
Yeah, you just don't want to be one. I feel like, is that hypocritical? I don't know. We'll get you a ginger wig and a kilt, and we'll recreate the shortbread adverts.
I've got a kilt, so all we need is the ginger wig, and I can just stand on the hill and let the wind blow past me and look interesting. It'll be brilliant.
I'll throw packets of porridge at you. That'll be fine.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Cooked or uncooked, nobody knows.
If you hear me yelling, it burns! Stop! Then it's cooked.
And then I will keep going.
Promises.
Who doesn't like to be burned by porridge? Let's be real. Do you ever have porridge?
I sometimes have porridge. I'm not big on breakfast, but every so often I will have a thing where I go through breakfasts and I like porridge and crunchy nut cornflakes. I fucking love crunchy nut cornflakes. How good are crunchy nut cornflakes?
They are good. I honestly come and go with cereal. Like, I'm not too stressed. I fucking love poached eggs and avocado.
See, that's where you and me differ. This is where our roads diverge because I don't like eggs. I've never liked eggs. I just can't deal with them.
So the song "How Do You Like Your Eggs in the Morning" does not apply to you.
It does not. How do you like your eggs in the morning? I don't. Shove them in your hole. Piss off.
Put the eggs back in the fridge. I don't want that. Get the crunchy nut out, bitch. I usually have toast, to be honest. And if I have time, I'll have poached eggs and things. I just love it. Love, love, love. I love cinnamon. The cinnamon crunch.
Oh, yes. I used to love them, but I haven't had them in so long, so I don't know if they've changed the recipe. Because every so often they'll spice up they'll change the recipe for whatever reason. Like maybe they need to save budget, so they'll change one ingredient or something, make it cheaper or whatnot. So I don't know if they're still good.
I think they're still good.
I trust your judgment.
Do you know what else? Well, yeah, I fully support it. Run out and buy some cinnamon crunch and maybe they'll sponsor me. I don't know. So then, I'm influencing a nation.
You are.
An influence or fucking bullshit. I said that to somebody. They were like, "Oh, you're such an influencer," and I said, "The only thing that influences people to talk shite. Like that is it. That's it."
That's still a good thing to impart on people.
Yeah, just talk whatever you want to talk. Just don't be offensive.
Yeah.
You're single.
Yes.
Yes. So am I. So you're not alone. And then, do you use dating apps?
I have used dating apps in the past.
What apps have you used?
I have tried Plenty of Fish. I've tried Match. What's the other one I tried? I was trying with Facebook dating, but that's a fuckery all to itself.
Oh, don't do that. I've never done that. It sounds horrific.
It really is. So primarily Plenty of Fish and Match.com. And I'm sure there was another one, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh, Tinder. Okay. I tried Tinder.
Oh, Tinder.
For like
good old
a
Tinder.
day.
Yeah.
Of all these apps, and I've swiped left on so many people, I've only ever gotten one reply. No, 2 likes and 1 reply.
Are you quite picky?
Not really, no. As long as somebody's kind of breathing, that's as much as I need.
Oh, dear God. So you don't need consciousness in a head, just
well,
some
consciousness would be helpful. This took a turn. This makes it sound like I'm stalking the hospital awards at night. Like, oh, there's an unconscious person. Hello there, you're breathing.
Hello, Gertrude.
Who's Gertrude?
A wee old lady.
Oh, okay, I see.
So,
I see what you did there.
but basically, I have never used Match. I have never used Plenty of Fish, and I am never, to the day I die, going to use Facebook for dating, because I get enough people in my DMs, like, on Facebook, and I actually don't really use Facebook. People will message me on Facebook, and they can expect, like, a fucking 2-week delay in response time, like, because I talk to people on Twitter, Instagram, I have obviously a few Instagrams, and then my Facebook, I just properly neglect it, which is awful. People sometimes text me and I don't even see it. Like, that's the amount of notifications I get, which is why sometimes it's so hard to get hold of me.
Yeah.
Because I talk so much shit to so many people. And then, of course, I've got my dating apps because I'm on them. So I'm going to give you some helpful advice.
Please do. I will take anything I can get. Like, I'm not precious. Just anything, please. Help me.
Bumble is good.
Oh,
now, I'm a big
Bumble.
advocate for Bumble. The girl makes the first move.
Yes.
But that is where it gets interesting, because obviously I work predominantly with females and a lot of my clientele are women. So I'll talk to them about their experiences and everything else. And what I have found in my vast research of people in Glasgow is that girls are so frightened to make the first move, which is so alien to me, because what the fuck? Why would you be on an app where the girl has to make the first move to not make the first move?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I would have thought, I like the idea of Bumble. I'm big on the idea of, like, the girl making the first move, because men are fucking creepy. So I like that idea. It's a good idea. Just nobody
ever liked me. Find someone, we'll get you there.
Hopefully.
100%, we'll get you down that aisle. Don't worry, your biological clock has still got some time. You're all right.
See, you say that, but I was having this conversation with a friend a couple of days ago, and I was like, because another friend of ours had a baby, and I was like, my biological clock is ticking, my ovaries are rusting, and I don't even have ovaries. What are we doing here?
Well, Rod Stewart has kids, and he's, like, basically dead, so...
Yeah. Rod Stewart is, like, being held up by strings and puppetry at this point.
Some chicken wire in there.
And a voice box, whenever you press the button, it's got, like, that tinny, awful microphone. It's like... Whenever you press the Rod Stewart button.
Bumble's good. Like, this is the thing, though. Like, you do have to treat it as a game. Like, don't get too bogged down in it. I say this to everyone, like, you literally cannot have it as, like, a serious thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a just kind of piss take, which sounds so bad, and it makes me sound like a fucking player and a half, but you do have to just take it at face value and just be like, some fucking random that I'm probably never ever going to meet or see. Like, so if you message them and they don't come back with it, and then it's going to go nowhere, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's my kind of advice to the girls. I'm like, just fucking go for it. Just rip the piss right out of them. And I do that anyway, because that's what I'm just like as a person. So may as well start the ball rolling as I mean to go on. You're going to get fucking ripped to shreds daily. So just accept it and move on.
Being single, how has it... I don't know if I'm wording this the right way, but has lockdown impacted that? Like, have you realised anything, like, you want new relationships after lockdown or anything like that?
I think everyone wants companionship by the end of the day. Everyone wants that person that they can just fuck about with, go and do fun things, like, because I have a lot of pals that are coupled up. So I kind of right now, I'm like, me and one other person, like the only single ones, you know?
Yeah.
So it just depends. Like, I've had some pretty shitty relationships. Like, it is what it is. And I've dealt with, like, a lot of stuff, like, in and out of dating and in and out of, like, commitment. It is what it is. Like, you can't really... What's for you won't go by yet. Divine timing and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, just as long as you're making the most of the fucking ride to get to that destination is the biggest thing for me.
That's so interesting. I've had some really, really bad relationships as well. And I'm the kind of person where it sticks with me and it affects... It doesn't affect future relationships going forward, but it does make me think, like, what is this person doing? Or especially if, like, my next relationship does something that happened in the last relationship, and I'm like, ooh, okay, that sounds familiar, that looks familiar, I've seen this before, and it does kind of I don't know if freak me out is the right term, but it does make me more aware of things.
It gives you some flashes. Well, this is the thing. Everyone has their own experience. Everyone draws on the experience of what they've had before, and you just need someone that understands that and is willing to maybe make you feel more comfortable with things you've dealt with. Like, obviously, so I have said in the past, cheating.
Yes.
There's different grades of it. There's different lines. There's different, like, what is and isn't acceptable. There's texting with intent. There's obviously like the more kind of like serious shit, like sexting, and anything that you think, I wouldn't be happy if this was done to me, or if you have to hide anything.
Yeah.
You know, so it just depends. This is the thing as well, because obviously I'm a girl, I'm online, my account is public, like I do get a lot of like indecent images and harassment and whatever else, and guys sometimes get raging about that, and I'm like, well, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
Like, it's different if I was doing it to other people, or if I had found someone or someone I used to date or whatever was on my socials and we were staying and stuff like that, still, regardless of the relationship with the guy. So I think it depends, but everyone 100% has their kind of limits of what they do and don't want. And then I think you have to just be so mindful that everyone's got their own shit going on and everyone's had to deal with so much shit, you know? So it's just nice to be nice. It's the baseline.
But that being said, don't you get so frustrated sometimes by people? Like, I was listening to your last episode with people in the masks, and it's like, put the fucking thing over your face. I don't want to see your nose. I don't want to see your lips. Put the fucking thing over your face. It's not hard. That kind of thing really irks me with people.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. Like, I honestly do take everything as a joke. I would say even when I'm like ranting, talking shit, talking about serious issues, like, it's still comical in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of got like a fun little twist. And you're like, oh my God, like, you can kind of get behind it. That's how I deal with things.
Yeah, because that's your energy. That's what you want to put into the world.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, everything's a fucking joke. Everything's a piss take, whether it is or not.
And going back to what you were saying about dating, like when you were like, okay, yeah, I'm going to talk to this guy, we're going to rip the piss. Do you find that if you're kind of ripping the piss with a guy and there's some back and forth going, does that make you more endeared to a guy? Does that make you like him more? Like, okay, he can put up with my shit, so maybe this is something that can go somewhere?
It's not even if they can put up with it, because everyone can put up with it. It's whether or not they can give me it back.
Right, okay.
Now, this is the thing as well. I'll put in my bio, like, good chat if you can handle it. Like, you take that as a challenge, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? But this is the thing with men. They do come at you and they try and challenge you and they try and trip you up and they try and match what you're giving them. But they surpass that and go into pure vulgarity, or they are just like wildly inappropriate, or they start just like being really fucking nasty. If they can take the piss at themselves a little bit and then it becomes like jokey backwards and forwards, 100% game. But this is something that I've had to put in Bumble as well. I'm like, if you can be funny without being just like downright offensive and like nasty, then, you know, that's the vibe. Which is funny, because if you listen to like a lot of what guys do say, it is quite derogatory and it is quite discriminatory against like women.
Yes.
Or like minorities. Whereas for me, everyone's fair game, but I would never go after something so, I don't know, like unchangeable, so personal. So like, you wouldn't want to make someone feel shit. You just want to take the piss a little bit. So I'm slagging off someone's glasses. Take your glasses off. You know, like, it's just a joke.
Yeah, there's no need to be wearing your glasses, mate. What are you doing?
Yeah, so it just depends. Like, it depends, obviously. If they come backwards and forwards with me, 100%, I'm game for that, and that's the vibe. I hope that answers your question. I kind of just went off on one, but yeah.
It does.
Obviously, we can't go anywhere. We are trapped in the corona crisis situation.
Yep.
Where's your dream holiday? Where would you love to go? What's like your kind of, maybe not a destination, but like setting?
I'd like to go somewhere warm but quiet. Like I'm not hot on beaches, but a nice beach with some water that you can go walking in, some nice heat, some good food, somewhere like that.
Have you seen the what's it called? The beach with the little pigs that swim in it?
I have, yes. The pigs that swim in the water.
How cute are they?
It's awesome, but kind of terrifying, because pigs will eat anything, and I'm afraid that I'll be swimming along or hanging out in the water, and I'll feel something on my foot, and I'll look down, and a pig has bitten off one of my little piggies. That terrifies me.
You know, that's actually a fun thing. Do you ever play like video games?
Yes.
Do you ever play Far Cry?
I've seen people play Far Cry, but I've never played it myself.
One of the scenes in Far Cry is like a guy's killing people, and then he drops parts of the bodies down into a pig's pen. Mm-hmm. Because you know how they eat everything and they digest everything. So if you're ever getting rid of a body, you can just feed people to pigs.
Yeah, that's been
and there'll be
done
nothing
before.
left. Yeah, 100%. It's just actually funny when you mentioned it. I just thought this is like probably the nicest thing I could bring up. A video game that's not in any way real.
I just don't want to be eaten by anything. Like, I don't want to go in the ocean because I don't like the idea of a shark eating me. Even though sharks don't eat a lot of people, attacks are very rare. And the thing about shark attacks is sharks don't actually bite people or eat people for food. They just do it because you're there. So sharks are assholes. So I don't want to be eaten by a shark, and I don't want to be eaten by a pig. So I'd like to go in the sea, but not that far in the sea. Just a nice little beach to walk along. What about you? Do you have a nice holiday destination when all this is over, somewhere you want to run away to?
I actually was talking about this the other day. Now, this is not really a destination. This is more like a dream home.
Okay.
But like in the woods, near a cliff.
Right.
At the water. Very Disney princess-like.
That is very kind of Disney princess.
It's a very like romantic setting, isn't it? Like big kind of castle, totally surrounded by like woods and that. You wouldn't be able to find it if you didn't know where you were going.
Yeah.
And then a big cliff edge and like all the sea.
And then while you're singing in the woods one morning, while you're out getting your water and whatever it is, a big handsome lumberjack comes along and starts singing with you.
Probably run the other way, but I would love that. I think that would be so nice. I just love the water. Like I absolutely love water. I also am terrified of sharks. I've never told anyone this. Well, that's not true. I've told one guy, but I never told anyone else apart from that one guy. Do you ever close your eyes in the shower?
Yes.
And do you ever see anything in your head?
Sometimes. When I'm in the shower, where does your head go?
Without a doubt, without a question, it is never like, not the same thing. So I feel like this is how I died previously in another life. It is like green murky water and a shark in it coming right at my face.
Maybe that is maybe it's past life regression. Maybe that is how you died in a past life.
Yeah, like I am absolutely like so scared of sharks. They actually freak me out so much. But I would still go swimming with them.
Would you be in like the metal cage and stuff, or would you want to go like free swimming?
No, I would be in the cage. If they just bite you for the fucking sake of it, then I'm not going to be in there like that. I'm not trying to recreate the shower scene, but yeah, but it's so fucking weird. Like, if I close my eyes, it is always the same.
Have you tried any kind of past life regression, trying to find out if this is a past life or anything? No,
like, I've never really thought too much about it. I've just kind of, the fact that it is so regular, it's always the exact same scene. It's just a bit fucking mental.
I'm so curious now. There's so much I want to know. When you're seeing this, is it always from the same perspective? Or do you ever watch it happening? Or do you ever look around and see anything else in the scene as well?
No. So it's like, once you recognise the threat, you know how you are just like watching that to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So the threat is obviously this shark coming towards me, but it's like gloomy because it's obviously like green murky water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just comes right at your face.
That's so interesting. I wonder why. I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. I've never seen anything like that. I don't think in real life. Like, it's obviously like pre-made in the brain.
Yeah. And does that put you off going into water things like showers or baths or swimming pools or anything?
No. I literally live in the bath.
That's one of my career goals. Like, I don't want to be a millionaire. I don't want a mansion. I don't want fast cars. I just want a house with a bath in it. That's my whole career goal. Once I've gotten that, I'll retire. I'll fuck off into the woods and take my bathtub with me and live in it.
What is your kind of dream home?
My dream home? I'd like something... I mean, we all like a big house, but I don't want like a massive house where it's like, here's your 72nd bedroom and your 14th bathroom. Like, I'd like a house that's comfortable enough. Mm-hmm. Like, again, going back to career goals, if I ever did have a big career that paid me millions, one of the first things I'd ever buy is like a house so that I knew I at least had that. Like, I had that security. Kind of a dull. I'm kind of dull that way, but...
No, like, you know, that's totally wise. Like, I would do the exact same. If I ever was to, like, say, win the lottery or whatever, I would 100% be a little Hermione bitch about it, and I would just be like, okay, we're going to invest some shit. We're going to like get some houses, some property, because it's secure.
Yep.
It's not going to fluctuate. Like, that's your property.
And if you do lose everything, you still have that place. Okay,
boys and babes, that is us for part 1. You can catch me on the Peter Greenwood Show for part 2. And it was an absolute pleasure chatting to you, Peter.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. I don't get to go on other people's shows often, so it was an interesting experience to do this.
Yeah, just sit and chat and chat with me for about 100%. Yes. Who doesn't love it?
It's brilliant. Let's do this every week.
Yes, of course.
So guys, that is us for part 1 of me and Peter's little double team up little situation. Hope you really enjoyed listening to that. Thank you, Peter, for recording us both, so it made my life a little bit easier. What you can do to find out for part 2, and as always, connect with me through Twitter and Instagram. There's also a Facebook page you need to do if you feel like you want to speak to me or whatever else. You can. A lot of big things coming. I hope you're all staying safe, loving life as best you can, and surviving this shit show we're in at the moment. But keep your eyes peeled for fun things coming up in part 2 with Peter interviewing me on his radio show. Alright, boys and babes, have a fun fucking day, and I will see you next Sunday.